Test. we've had to have state police had a game over these people. But what do I know, right? The same situation with the DA's office, the gang violence, I got told I don't report. Every time I report this is what happens, ladies and gentlemen. Now, why do you see here and don't speak up? I'm not afraid to. You already made me target, now you made it personal. See, it wasn't personal before, I was actually on behalf of other students. Now it's personal because it was my own daughter. Now it's personal. Now you're not a very nice person. And yes, I started contacting and seeing what the legal laws were to be followed. Because that's your responsibility, right? Mandating, reporting, getting that boys will be boys, right? Let's say that to another gentleman that does it. Or let's say girls will be girls when they're flashing their tits. I'm not trying to be derogatory, but these are what these kids do. So, instead of arguing politics, we may want to reorganize what we're doing in this building and how we're treating parents. Because this isn't the first time. This probably won't be the last. And I think it's very bad representation. Because I've done nothing but fight for the good and the betterment of the district itself and these students. It ain't about me and my ego. I have nothing on the line here. And that's what makes me scared. Because there is nothing on the line here but what's going to be right for these kids and these students, and I'm not understanding nothing but what is right. Now you have an attorney that sits on this board who sits there and he gives you false information. Why does our attorney have a special education law degree or those officers are out in special education? It's on their website, it's public information. Why am I doing the homework? Why are we reviewing this? Well, we're going to call CYS on a parent that called in for real concerns about sexual harassment. For false allegations, when y'all know I'm crazy and will drug test my kids. Remember the whole DA situation? We all had these conversations with the violence, the guns. Remember this? Or are we going to say we don't remember this? Because we all know I'm the crazy mom that made my daughter miss out on freshman year for this. So you want to make these accusations, you better make sure you got the stories correct too. Because reporting falsely will get you in trouble. And now my father-in-law was the one who was actually insinuated in that whole story. How? We never even spoke on my father-in-law, so we're literally able to get close to that name. And he's a teacher, by the way. Mind you, you're going after another educator now. By making a false accusation. A 70-year-old man who was a retired school teacher, 35 years special education. You not opened up a whole can of worms. And CYS had to rectify the case, by the way, because it was Taylor Gill left Snow. That's why she lost her freshman year. Miss Stout and I had plenty of conversations on that. That's why she was on that. That's how I got responsible for nothing was being done. So what? I'm just a crazy parent? Yeah. A crazy parent that's fed up. And you're lucky you don't have lawsuits on your hands. Let's really think about that. Because I could have been that parent that went to the news, because I don't care. I'll publicize it. What are you hiding in your closet? That's what we need to figure out.
In response, I would have to say the board would have no knowledge of anything that is what we're presenting tonight. So wherever that's coming from, do you know where who made those charges?
They're not allowed to say what I can say to three people that went in a room.
I'm sorry, I don't know.
I said they're not allowed to state in the actual report because you have to wait 120 days for the report to come in. So the report was made. CYS showed up, we had a meeting the 21st, the report came in the very next day or that day, I believe. They showed up Friday, questioned my daughters because my oldest actually cried to her friend because she's like, did I do something wrong? Because, you know, her Snapchat and stuff, we had to deal with all of that. So
This is dated November 14th.
keep reading. There's another one in there that'll be dated back to when they have to ship it out, which will be like November 4th. She showed up at my house October 25th at 3:34 p.m. I keep my facts, y'all. I'm not some dumb little uneducated woman. And we don't want to handle these matters quietly and professionally, so now it's going to be loud and bold. Because the sexual harassment and the sexual assault that go on is scary. Most of these kids will never report what happens in these buildings because of these kind of things. And let's talk about TikTok, by the way. Professional people in this building should not be reporting and making TikToks about being bullied. I can pull that up on my phone too, but we don't do executive sessions, right, with people, so I guess we can go public, because it's on a public platform. So we can make everything public, if we really need to. The choice is everybody else's.
Are you saying you were told you can't speak in executive session?
Yes, I was told it was frowned upon. Because of my concerns with, because I have personnel concerns.
That's your right.
I know it is,
that you may want to talk about, that you cannot talk about in public session. So that's what executive session is for.
Well, it would be very embarrassing if I spoke about it publicly. It would be real embarrassing in getting to the school, honestly.
Right.
But what do I know, right?
You have the right to speak to the board in executive session upon request to.
I tried. I called the school today to request because I was going to mention about the coach.
Who'd you talk to?
Jody Delgado.
What power does she have?
She said she'll find out, but when I came here, nobody was mentioned about the executive session, so here we are. Did anybody know that I asked for an executive session on the board, Mr. Gammon? Yes, I asked for an executive session because of it's personnel, serious personnel issues. There's 2 people in this district right now that can cause us some serious liabilities if we really wanted to. Really good.
Right, I don't think there's anyone on this board that frowns upon you speaking to us.
No, I'm just letting you know what was told to me. Like, I have no reason to lie. Here's the thing. I have nothing to gain from this. This is a lie
Why
behind.
did I tell you that?
You did say you were gonna ask him for an executive session. You have said.
I said, I will ask Dr. Martin to speak to the board when they go into
Did she
executive
speak to you? Did she
session.
speak to the board?
We haven't wanted to executive session yet.
I'm pretty sure somebody would ask before public remarks. That would have been a smart thing to throw in a side note. Hey,
We need to personnel, that's what we want to do. There's someone else this time?
Mika Tinsley, but I don't know if she's here.
Who'd you say?
Mika Tinsley, but I don't see her in here.
So, Mr. Gill will be given, time in executive session.
Here we go.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President.
I was gonna try to get through most of the agenda and then state personnel. That's okay. That's not fair. At this time, any questions for administrators, bills for payment?
Yes, Mr. President, I have a concern. I'm not sure exactly, and maybe even addressed to Mr. Dorsey. I have a concern with the reading program. It's a program, the Wilson Foundations. I'm not a fan of that, and I'm going to have to be schooled on that a little bit more because I'd like to know more about it. I don't think it will work, and it's for reading for all of our children, K through whatever, grade 5. I'd like to know about the process of grading. Who grades someone on reading? Does the principal grade? Teacher grade?
Teacher.
And how are those grades turned in? Are they turned in by a computer or are they turned in by hand,
They will be submitted electronically.
electronically? So the calls that I've got from parents are concerned that they don't believe that their child has a problem. And some of them, I can understand. But my question is, I would like to know the pros, the cons of this foundation that we purchased and spent a good amount of money. But right now, if I had to vote again, would be no, because I don't think it benefits our children. But if you can show me that it does, I'll keep my mouth shut. But right now, I want to know how this reading program works and who does what, with whom, and how. Mr. Superintendent, that's where I'm at. I'm sorry to throw that on you tonight, but the more I read about it, the more I get from other schools. Some schools love it. I don't know that it's good here. It might be. But I have a question, Mr. Dorsey, that if anything comes up with that in the meantime, I'm going to support the foundations. I'm not on the board of directors of other schools. I'm on the board of directors here. So I don't care what Laurel Highlands does out in Gallup, Uniontown. I don't care. I only care about Bronson School District. That's what I'm elected for. And maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, I'll admit it. But I want to see how this program works.
Understood. And when it's time to replace the Wonder Series, which would be probably for next school year, depending on if the new one rolled out is strong in phonics, we won't need the Wilson supplement. It will be embedded into the program. It's just not embedded into this one.
Okay, thank you.
That's all in, Ms. Nicholson's, report. Currently, we have 9 English as a second language students in the district at this point. That's probably going to grow as we move along. That's definitely something we're going to have to keep aware of. I saw something on the agenda that may address some of that, so.
Was it on the agenda? Is his name written there? If it is not, someone, we were done with public comment. That's why we're in another session.
Yeah, he just said he had to sign up. It's
3 minutes, because we're in another direction right now. We got a lot of business tonight. I don't mind.
No, I was just making a comment about, you know, the amount of English as second language students. And now, these 9, are they all Hispanic, Asian, or mixture? Okay, because I know if we're working, trying to get one translator for one language, we may need more than one.
It's a great
Going
point.
down through the valley, we're really seeing an increase, you know, with the Asian population. So it's just something we're gonna have to keep our eyes open with. I don't know whether we can, you know, get some info from the IU, they have some people, and we can step in and help with that. We're definitely have to be aware.
And also, yeah, trends and financial, I think, as well.
Right.
I think, excellent point.
Right.
Another comment to the administration, Mr. President, if I may. I have a question, and maybe the BEA can answer this. Whenever teachers when they give up their prep to go watch another class, they're compensated for that?
$23.
Okay.
It's $23.
Is that per class or per day?
Per period.
Per period?
Now, if they have a duty, at the middle school and high school, we have certain teachers that are assigned duties, whether was ISS or cafeteria duty. If it's your duty, you do not get compensated.
Have you had any problems with that small amount of money not being put on their paychecks? Did anybody ever come to you and say, hey, I covered a class and I didn't get compensated? I mean, I don't know.
Not with this administration.
I mean, you see where I'm going. I have no problem with fees $50. I don't care. It's just that if we don't have enough people to cover this, and it's illegal, we shouldn't do it. But if we are doing it, for the safety of the parents, someone has got to be watching the students somewhere.
And as for security and aides watching classrooms, that's a contract violation. That's the first I've heard of it. There was one situation that was brought to my attention, but I thought I was told that it wasn't happening anymore. That there was at least one teacher who was in the auditorium. There was at least one teacher there, and the security was assisting that teacher. But there should always be a teacher.
You're very well right. The thing after 7 years, I've seen it so many times, heard it so many times. And now's the time in transition here to make it wrong or right. If we can't make, first of all, the EEOC, you're not treating everybody fairly. So that's my point. If it happens again, we should have some way of countering that. And that's going to be up to you, Dr. Martin, and your staff to come up with something.
Yeah, it worries me that you're pulling security from their assigned duty. I know the boards work hard to try to get extra security to make sure our students are safe. So I think that should be, if it's happening, it should be a very last resort to do something like that with security from their supposed to be.
So along that same, on that same line, because I think personally, I think the issue, Rock, is that we're not getting enough subs. And for a couple of reasons. Number one, first question I think you answered the other day, Dr. Martin, was what is our daily sub rate right now? It's $100, right?
Yes.
And then after how many days do they go to? 60 days of subbing. Okay, so I thought, and I'll go back to the video, and I just ran out of time, but I thought back in August, we had mentioned that if somebody worked 60 days last year, and they came and started subbing for us this year, we were gonna put them at that 1/10 scale. I don't know if that happened or not. I don't think we voted on it, so I don't know if it's binding, but. So that's kind of my next point though on that. And if the principals don't mind real quick, how hard of a time are you having this out getting subs in the morning? Is it
It's for all three women.
agreed, Mr. Clement? Okay. All right, so just from my perspective, something we need to take a look at because surrounding school districts are $130 a day. Started. Hey, I subbed back in the day. And I was, when Frazier offered more money, I went to Frazier. What's that?
You went where you were going to.
I went where I went to make more money, yeah. Even though I could walk here, Mr. Gates did try to look me up, but I would go to Frazier, because Frazier paid the best in 1989. Just say. So I mean, I don't know if we can add it to the agenda now, but I think the minimum is
There's
135.
There's something on.
Is it on there?
And Mr. Robinson worked out, a plan for the sub-regions.
Sorry for
And
ranking.
he also worked out, the neighboring districts, what they're paying.
I have a question with that. I was looking at that, right? Do you really think $500?
No, I was thinking 140.
$500.
Mr. Wellington being financially responsible, we'll talk about it there. The bottom line is the $60. The
It's
$60.
still crazy for me, not be financially responsible. But I think the safety of the kids and the education of our kids sometimes when this was work. I didn't hold that. Who pays the most? They account.
Okay.
Is that right? Yeah.
Sorry, my bad. I was looking for I'll make a
Which one's that?
But yeah, I'll be the first to admit that I
Should
have
be-
used it in the past.
It looks neat, but
And it's never been an issue, so I
Because
do
they-
apologize. I didn't know, that's something I didn't know.
they're slightly low down.
Yeah,
That
see,
hobble probably.
Very, it's
You
very.
have to wait till he talks to be able to hear him. Yeah. But yeah, you have to watch when he talks to be able to see which one really sticks with his looking. They get like blends into each other, you know what I mean?
It's a handful of teachers, maybe 5, that are willing to give up their prep. So if I don't have coverage period 9, you know, I can't leave them alone.
Well, I know you have to do what you have to do, Sal, and I understand that. I'm saying that if we have to do that, then we should fairly compensate those who are doing it. Well, that's-
You cannot have an aide or security in a classroom overseeing the classroom. Cannot.
Well, I know.
I'm just saying, something should happen. The first thing that was screened was, where was the teacher?
Right. I think,
Yeah, when I worked elementary, our teachers have an itinerant class built into their schedule every day where they do good music or gym. So when their kids are in that class, the teachers will cover. And as long as it's not their instructional time, by contract, they don't have to pay. They just have to pay, if they're actually teaching a lesson. Or like Ms. Baker said, they're over their number.
this is a discussion I wish we would have had, you and the board, us, let's say 3 years ago. I think every board member up here had an understanding that it's been difficult against us, but it's never been expressed to us how bad, how hard it is. And this is something I think, I'm not throwing this on you, Dr. Martin, but he who shall remain nameless did not bring that to us, which I think
this question, but, you know, normally when you buy property, as you probably have done a lot, you gotta clear, it's gotta go through escrow, it's gotta clear the titles and all those liens. How did that not happen in this case?
So I can't exactly answer that question for you, Ross, but one thing I can say is the minutes from the council meeting saying that council had accepted that property back from its owner at that time
Mm-hmm.
in exchange for exoneration of the tax.
But did the school board exonerate the taxes in 2021 and did it follow through, or was it the
I don't
borough?
think that was,
So it is my understanding,
yeah, yeah, well,
it is my understanding that the borough did not follow through with the school district.
Oh, now I'll follow. Okay.
That is my understanding. So according to the letter, Patty, it does state that, well, it says here the attached meeting minutes for April 2021
So, Mike, what you're saying, if we don't approve this, the sale of that property to, I think it's a bank or something who's interested in it. Yeah, so they will not, that sale of the property will not go through unless we approve the 17th.
No, that's not what
Okay.
what I'm saying is,
Well, my question is, okay, we have an owner here, owns us, supposed to be responsible for taxes. I'm going back, and Rocky, you were on the board. The last time something like this came to us was with land out past Nago, Matt Canistro, owned the land out there. There was like $100 and some thousand more dollars in taxes. And a little agreement was made that if he pays his kid a little bit on his taxes, we forgive the rest. That land got turned around, sold to the state, and a prison was built on that land. And someone made a ton of money out of it. Now, is this another deal where somebody's gonna make a ton of money if we overlook these taxes? Because if there's $17,000 or whatever it is in tax money owed to our school district, I think our kids need that money.
well, there's not a ton of money. I mean, it is for economic development, but it's not going to be a huge purpose.
Well, I think every board member should have a copy of this, and you can decide for yourself. Delinquent taxes are $26,982.41. Now, that goes way back, I get it. I don't know the legal rankings of how this transaction happened with MDL Holdings and this property, when there were two other bids on that property. That's what the AG is trying to find out as this is coming in. That's why I suggested last month we stay out of this.
Just so that I can speak to the board as far as the AG, you can look that up, that's all. So, it's not a, outstanding litigation, that the thing with the AG is all.
If it is, then our attorney, Mr. Davis, provide us with copies of everything that the Attorney General has said before. I'll be okay with that.
And the AG will provide that.
Because I cannot jeopardize the school district as one, I'm only one vote. I'm not going to jeopardize it. Based on the conversation I had today.
Ross, you said it's a bank that's gonna go in?
Somerset is what I heard. I don't know that.
Somerset Bank's one.
We're gonna need another bank account, we need business.
That's the business.
Here's the only problem.
Taxes, and it's a business.
Here's the other one of the problems, and Mr. Dorsey touched on it. If you're going to exonerate taxes in every business in the town, exonerate them for a year. It's only fair. If we're going to make it happen, what's the next business that comes over and transfers property to somebody else and says, well, if you get rid of my taxes, I'll give you this property. I mean, there's too many questions here. I mean, I think we all got to know that.
We sold property on Front Street. We didn't have our taxes up to date, and they took the money out of my sale and gave it to the taxpayer. That's good. I should have it here in my opinion. That's why I saw it. Huh?
That's the property you bought.
That's the property I sold.
Mr. President, I would ask the solicitor be advised to come up with
There
an
is
answer.
a difference here in the fact that,
You guys exonerated it.
that's correct.
Yeah, I got you.
So
And that's the
there is
confusing.
an exception.
That's a confusing part to me though, like when that happened, how did you get a clear title?
In my opinion,
Clear
I
title.
wasn't on city council at that time.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, when the council voted to exonerate the taxes, right?
Yeah.
And then he sat on it, and he never followed through
Yeah.
and took care of it. You know, so all I'm saying is
Yeah.
if
But the
if
people
you
search
if you bought a
people
property,
search would have found that. That's what I just don't understand.
got things done, thank you. I've always said you're my favorite principal, and seriously, I'm not, seriously, this auditorium is mine, nothing else happened here, and it was just,
You do a great job.
but you worked with me, and it was great. But I just had a situation where these closets were empty, all my stuff was thrown out, and I was told it's not moved by 4 o'clock, it was gone.
Did that happen about 8 years ago, say?
Oh, yes. Dancing schools would come in and they'd say, take the walls down. And dancing schools who rent for $300 would throw my stuff away. I was told as a teacher, we can't throw books out because it's textbook money, or it's taxpayer money and all of this stuff. But it happens to me over and over again. I now have all my stuff downtown, and now I have stuff down in bathrooms down there. I can't work like this. I'm asking, can I please get my stuff in one area? So why do I have to have stuff here? Why do I have to have stuff downtown? When we moved stuff downtown, I did it with my truck. My husband took off a week of school. He couldn't get it all moved, so my stuff got burned. A lot of that stuff was borrowed from a local theater company, from the Guy Performing Arts Center, and from Actors and Artists of Fayette County. Sorry, guys, Brownsville School District destroyed our stuff. I want my stuff here. And, wrestling, that doesn't have as many kids as we have, as you know, can I please have a room that we can build? We used to keep stuff here, now I'm told, no, okay, fine, it's insurance purposes, whatever. But I need to be able to work, the kids need to be able to work. Even my summer program. In reality, I can turn my summer program into a credit recovery thing. I mean, we can really do some good things here, but I need your help. Please, 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 can I have a place? I don't have a truck anymore, so I can't get my stuff from downtown. I will work like crazy for you guys, but please help me. I know I sound like a whiner, and I don't mean to, but I go in circles all the time, and it's frustrating.
Just we'll do what we can.
What's that?
Find out.
And I want to pay for your 2 funeral couches too, I'll be sure. I brought the money, but yeah, I'm trying to pay for funeral couches.
Do we have any open rooms at all?
Yeah, I was told it was fine, but I don't know.
Kelly?
The high school?
Mark? Jerry?
At the high school,
Anyway.
I'm trying to think what we do have over there. I mean, I'm sure we can clean something out. I
Every
just,
these things, huh?
You know what? Can I speak?
Go ahead.
I can't speak on this because I'm not exactly sure of what she's talking
I
about.
understand. Jerry?
These 2 rooms over here, they're used as closets. And we had our, I don't care for how many years, when our insurance company came through and did an assessment of our property and all of our schools, they was putting these 2 rooms in cleaned out because those are stairwells, or ladders to get upstairs. So they had to be cleaned out. Like, this is the safety committee, that's right. This summer, I think I sent an email to the teachers, go to the teachers, go to the principals to ask you this stuff up. So, we didn't threaten to throw anything away, and I got my second notice
I have
that
it.
these rooms
I have
need
it.
to be cleaned out. So we put it all out here in front of the thing. And then, to my surprise, because I'm well, there was music on that day. So then it all got put, it's all in a, it's all in a bath. Nothing's good there. Now, if you want to buy a trailer that you use to do for equipment for football, you know what I mean? You could put it, you got something to say, say it. Say it. Don't sit there and talk behind my back. Don't put it on your Facebook page, but do not say it.
Jared, we will work on it. Mrs. Roth, we will figure it out. Mr. Yaga, not time to sit down.
Remember, Mr. Yaga came to us last week and said, insurance purposes forbid us from doing that. That's all I know. That's all I know. Now, whether we can work this out, Mr. Davis,
When you were here, Mr. Bates, I did have my stuff in the cafeteria, but that was all.
Anything there?
In the cafeteria, inside the cafeteria, I'm not sure what's in there now.
Now, there's that one room right before
Yeah, just a couple quick ones here. So I think I figured it out part of it. So I know you guys are tracking, I'm running the numbers. I run the numbers, I keep track of all of our attendance through the year, and just the scary part, which I'm sure you guys are aware of, we are losing students in this district a lot. Just between last month and this month, in person, we're down 13. And that's, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know, that's part of the concern. So that, our in-person numbers are going up, down, and our out-of-district cyber numbers are going up. So it's like the double whammy. We're losing, like, we're getting paid for our students, but then when they go to out-of-state, when they go to out-of-district cyber, we're getting hammered. So I just kind of want to bring that up, but part of it, and the numbers weren't just matching up, and I see the difference now, is that the building principals are reporting on the 8th of November, the cyber coordinator is reporting the 13th of November, so the BASD cyber numbers don't match into the building principal, so over that 5-day period, there must have been some flex, so I kind of got that, I kind of understand that, but if I could get a solid, how many BASD cyber students we got on Thursday, I would much appreciate that. As of, like, I don't know, if we can get, like, maybe the reporting date for all of this would be the same, that would be kind of helpful for me. The other issue that I kind of wanted to bring up from the administrators is win time. And I know that I read, that's one of the reasons why I asked for a comprehensive plan. The win time is part of the comprehensive plan that we are required, that we said we would do win time as part of our improvement plan. But we didn't put a time, or how much win time, that I could find on that.
It's not in there. It was initially, the goal was 5 days a week at some point. So it was starting out, it was supposed to be 3 days a week. That hasn't happened. I believe it's 1 day a week in all buildings, and it may be moved to.
That's what I'm kind of trying to find out. Personally, would I like to see it go to one day a month? From what I've heard. But again, if somebody else wants more of it, I would be more than happy to hear from the district teachers if they want more or less than time. Mr. Clemmer, I apologize. I live with one of your teachers. You're doing it 3 days a week. You're on track.
We're trying to do 3 days a week.
Trying.
But recently, the call-offs, the subs.
Reduce it. So you're not trying to reduce it to less than 3 days a week?
We have no choice but to reduce it.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. I just personally, my opinion is, I'm not sure that it's getting the results that we want to get. I know we can't just say, get rid of wind, because it's in our comprehensive plan, but I would like to see us seriously take a look at reducing wind, or, as I said, if there are people out there that think that we need to do, that the wind's working, and we want to do more of it, I will absolutely keep an open mind.
We did sit down as an administrative team, and we discussed when at the beginning of the school year. For me, I like the activity, I get all of that, I understand it. And maybe in other districts, these things work differently, those philosophical approaches, but we're a little more boots on the ground here. So for me, it is the remediation piece for me that I think our kids need and deserve. They need that remediation in-house.
Yeah,
They don't always get it externally. Not everyone has a tutor or a wife like you do, or a mother like I am at home to help read.
But wind is not, every piece of wind is not remediation. I mean, my wife does
That's how
walking
it's
class.
supposed to be rolled out. So when we talked about it, that's really where we kind of tried to focus, like, what would we do with the remediation piece with it and make it more about that and enrichment? And honestly, there are constraints. You see where we are with subs, you see where we are just exactly what Mr. Clemmer said. So it kind of goes to the wayside, and it's never been effectively implemented, but it's not for a lack of trying. My administrators have tried.
I'm not saying that. That's what my point is. My point is that I think the best way to increase our scores is give our teachers more time with their students. And we're having issues with subs, which means those guys aren't coming here, they're going to class, so they're missing teacher time, because the subs they're not doing anything with subs, to be honest, unless they had me as a math teacher in 1989 from Ms. Nisley. But it's just not happening. There's some rare examples where subs coming in and being able to carry it on, but I would say that's the exception, not the rule. So I just don't, that's why we have got to eliminate, in the military, training distractors. We got to eliminate some of these training distractors and give these teachers as many hours of the day to work with these kids. That's my point. That's all I'm trying to say. If it's a distractor, it's an education distractor, we need to can. Off my soapbox, thank you very much.
Anybody, any other questions? Administrator Bill?
Yes, I have one more thing, Mr. President. Jerry, any news on the police resource card? We're working on it.
It's there. I saw pictures.
Did you? Okay.
Is that the Votech? I've seen pictures of it.
Good, thank you. Thank you.
William Bills?
Yes, sir.
I have questions on page 3. There's a bill for $19,000 to PSA Consulting. What is that? Which one are you looking at, Andy? PSA Consulting, PSA Consulting. Up at the top of the page on the right-hand side, top right says page 3. Right.
Midway.
Yeah, it comes almost down to the middle.
35, well, 35.
You know, send it over.
Bill was, October 28th, 24th. That's the, for review
Either of the three,
Yeah.
of the three bullets.
Right.
You just need to meet one of the three bullets.
Right, and they're working on credentialing, predominantly their own.
So we'll be okay with everything.
I have a list of those who have completed it and those who have not completed it.
So my question is, what do they get? Like, what's the benefit of being a highly qualified paraeducator?
The state's requiring it.
Oh,
Because
everybody
that's
has to.
like educators who have to get the, you know.
So if you don't get that, you can't be a paraeducator.
Right.
Okay. Maybe, okay, I think my confusion is between, that's different than a paraprofessional.
No, that's synonymous. It's probably just, you know, different verbiage.
Okay.
Item C, discuss posting a permanent instructional math coach. If we are ready to learn, great. Question I have on this. And this is coming from people that have taught me, I've taught the now
it would be how right now, we have a person missing.
Right.
So that's saying that that person would come back into the system next school year and would take his spot. So it would be a wash, if that makes sense. And then, who knows between now and then, what opens up and what doesn't open up. And right now, that is my thought.
Was this bottoms up or top? This concept start from the administration level, or is this something that the math teachers are asking for?
No, it's both. At more administration level, it's, Baldwin, they have these instructional coaches in Baldwin, and they're just killing the game. So it was interesting to sit down with that team and find out exactly what they were doing. We started with the literacy coach, so have it at the elementary level. The support is there. At the secondary level, math is weak. So how can we get a math coach? Where can we put this math coach? And how can we afford this math coach? So having this individual within and being able to work with our educators and support them makes sense.
Okay.
The tutors did work. I mean, I was here for it when, especially at the middle level, we had a retired teacher who was, definitely improved the scores at that level, but we don't have tutors to come in. We were paying
So-
that service and teleservice, and they didn't even have certified tutors for us.
If I take 7th grade math, and I fail 7th grade math, if I go to summer school and attend 3-week summer school, do I get to go to 8th grade math?
In theory.
Not in theory, yes or no?
I mean, yeah, the answer is yes. Should you be able to necessarily be at 8th grade now? No.
That's
As a
the number
parent,
one problem.
as a
with
parent,
our
would I?
kids right now.
But they have a raise.
I'm not saying it's your fault.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the state's fault, I don't know whose fault it is. But if you fail math, and you go to 3 weeks of summer school, or 6 weeks, or whatever it is, no way.
Right.
No way. And all you do is show up for the most part, and you get moved along. That is the problem. We can keep going, this would work, it might work, but until we fix that.
Well, that's to your point, I mean, we have to look at options, we have to look at something, right? So, no, that's, to your point, right? Something is amiss, so we have to definitely look at something.
Sorry. I got a math teacher, right? I mean, I hear about this.
And this could be tabled until January.
So, listen, these are conversations I wanted to have with school board members since January. I mean, we spent a lot of time on football coaches and hiring administrators. This is the conversations that I want, right here. This is what it's about. Let's fix math. How are we going to fix math? Let's start hearing from some of these teachers and let's hear some of these ideas. If this is the solution, hell yeah, I'm all in on it. But let's define some of the problems. That's my opinion. Yep.
It's not going to set the math. It's
Sunday, 9, 10, 11 is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. I knew those days were from there. Yeah, so it's 3 days.
All right, J, discuss approving the request of Chief Wellington to attend the BASD 70th anniversary conference, which launch on March 11th and 14th, cost of $1,200. That is something I think he does have to go to.
Yeah.
K, discuss approving the following new school director, staff, and stipend, names are there, Chris Roll, Jonathan Roll, Tyler Evans, Mr. Murray, and Mike Roll, for your pay to the volunteers. Discuss approving the request from Dr. Martin to send 2 administrators and 2 teachers to the BA Title I conference at Station Square from the January 26th to January 29th, to be paid for with the Title IV grant. M, in accordance with section 1108, the school law of Pennsylvania considers a most acceptable content as a professional employee, needs to be there 3 years. And discuss approving the contract for the athletic secretary. We'll just talk about that. Discuss approving a floating note business, nurse position.
So this is the district, nurse position that is currently unfilled. So we have an elementary nurse, and then we have, one at the secondary level, but we are lacking that third nurse. So it's on here for discussion by the board. We have a substitute who, I don't want to speak for, but would probably consider a part-time. I don't know about a full-time position. And I want the board's thoughts on full-time or part-time for that position. And do you feel that it's necessary?
I have a question. Without the substitute nurse, are we in compliance?
We are.
Okay.
We're not dealing with that agenda item in particular, but I saw, text was sent out to the board, maybe 3 weeks ago, we had another student who, suffered a seizure. Now, last month, we actually had a person contact us about, response time. And I was told that Brownsville ambulance was not dispatched for this incident. So I thought we were gonna try to take care of this, make sure Brownsville ambulance is 2 minutes now to be able to be here.
I did, and I actually talked to, Mr. Hamilton about that, because there were 2 different acronyms that we were given, to utilize when those calls went in. And we had conversations, and we did look into that, with regard to the proximity piece. So I'm not sure how that did happen that time, but that conversation happened after our initial incident.
We need to make sure that the closest ambulance is getting here, especially like when kids are having seizures.
Something contractual, I believe.
Yeah, I thought that's something that the loser has in the
Right.
In my opinion, at the last meeting I stated, I don't think that us being in Luzerne Township matters. We are a political subdivision on our own land.
But see, that's.
We can tell, we should be able to tell Fayette County 911, when somebody dials 911, send Brownsville ambulance, regardless of Luzerne Township. We are our own political
We
entity.
were told at that meeting that
Yeah.
if we called Brownsville ambulance direct,
Yeah, which is,
they would be here.
that's, for the few people that know that, that might work. 90% of us know 911.
I'd much rather have them here in 2 minutes, it's my job, than 30 coming from, out by, Seabright.
Gotta get a supervisor. Across Luzerne Township supervisor. They're the only ones that can designate Brownsville to come up here.
So I mean, I know it's tough to get people for pretty much any position around. Is it, you think salary part of the problem, or is it, I'm trying to, like, how do we fix it? We got offered them, we increased our starting wage for subs, would that have any, maybe, no, don't know? No, yeah, I think, to be honest, I think you're right. I think,
I'd like to see a breakdown of all the Fayette County and throw in West Center, Jefferson, Morgan, California, of what they're paying their subs.
yeah.
Because there's only so many teachers in this pot
Yeah.
for substitutes. And you just go, okay, if you call them first, they'll come here. But a lot of times, you know, not people can have time or whatever, they're going to go to them paying more. And I think that's the biggest problem. I mean, if we're
So
paying $25 less than other schools.
And then I think the starting salary is more, so that's the key. You gotta get them. You know, giving them a raise in 30 days, okay, that's nice, but we gotta get them here in the first place to get them to go down that road to get to that raise as well. So, you know, if I'm starting at 100 and California started at 135, I'm going to California for the start. And then once you get in, you know, you get comfortable there, you're just gonna keep moving. And that's the key for, I think. They are in the position of power. There's no doubt about it, these substitute teachers.
Ross,
So we gotta get them in the building. And then when they come here, we gotta keep them here too, which I get. And I know that as a sub, and Mr. Gates did it to me today too, like if there's 5 teachers out, we're gonna hire 1 sub, and you're gonna put that guy in the gym, and he's gonna have 5 classes in the gym, and guess what? Tomorrow when Ms. Stout calls, he's gonna hire them.
Ross, 2010, you were the lowest paid district for subs.
I believe it.
We changed that to the highest paid by 2013. We had a massive amount of subs. Now we're back in that same boat again, paying the lowest salaries. We're gonna get it, man, you just said, we're gonna go where the money is, and I can't wait.
I like to get, from my perspective, I like to see a little higher starting salary, and I agree with whoever said that, like, who's the competition? California, West Center, Fraser, Ohio, maybe not Ohio. it's
I'm
not
also
Ohio.
add this,
But those are the 3 big ones right there. Whatever they're paying, we gotta pay more than them.
and I also add this, Ross, just because of the SEIU, 2-tier contract is not work. You can't pay someone this amount of money, and this person's doing the same job with this amount of money. Everybody got to be in the same ballpark. And as a board member, no matter who it is, you got to be fair wages across the board. And for the BEA and the SEIU. I mean, I'm speaking union-wise, I've been a union man all my life, but I'm just saying, 2 tiers, you can't pay somebody $15
I've seen things like this work in the past, as well, but I think there's just some of the, probably need to tighten up the language a little bit. For one, yeah, like a part-time employee, they would receive their $200 stipend after that part-time employee has worked X amount of days. You know, a full-time employee has worked at least 30 days. There's some more language that would need to be into that.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I think we're on the right track. That might be something that will help out.
Clean it up from there.
Yeah, right. But, yeah, so the concern is though, so we're gonna hire a director of special education. Nobody should get a referral fee for that, right? So there are some positions that we kind of maybe like full-time teachers, I don't know, there's some things there that we gotta just be a little careful of the full-time employees as well. Some full-time positions, like, listen, the superintendent is not, whoever's recommended the superintendent is not getting a stipend, right? So those, we gotta tighten that up a little bit.
My question.
Somebody went through this program, we did this in the military about 20 years ago, and it worked great. But it also got a bunch of dudes falsifying some crap, we got them hemmed up, we got a couple of them wearing bracelets. So it's great, but it's also gotta be regulated.
My question, Mr. Gannon, would be, who stands to gain from that?
What's that?
Who stands to gain, for the most part, for something like that, a referral program? Who stands to make money off of that? The district?
So the person who made the referral, I think, does well.
That's too wide open. If I made a referral to,
Of course, this is district,
Yeah.
sure, that they're getting some employees
Yeah.
to work.
I would think, I think that's the point with the kinds of, as we're talking out loud here, like, listen, these are the specific targeted positions that we are going to offer stipends. Absolutely. We gotta target them. And they're probably gonna be the ones working for Jerry and for Amy and their, some parents. We target them. Yep, I like it. But yeah, probably a little tweak on it.
well, who would be in charge of bringing that to the board? Because the previous administration, people who deserve stipends never got them because he nixed it. People who did someone's job for a long time, he nixed it. So would the superintendent have the power to say, well, I'm gonna give you a stipend deferred by your boss, but you can't, the superintendent has the power to nix it.
I thought this was a referral to hire for new hires.
Yeah, that's-
Like, you make a referral to hire somebody.
It doesn't say that.
Right.
Well, that's how it should be, that's what it's doing.
Yeah, and there's obviously gonna be some type of form that gets filled out, like, that you're on the program, and then when it's validated, it's like, yeah, I agree with it, it's validated.
Referral programs are bringing someone in, they stay for 90 days, and that person gets a stipend. The goal is to
I get that, but is it in the voting, is it in the voting form right now? I could vote on that.
That's all.
Yeah,
Just, we need to clean it up. All right, item B, discuss approving the quote from PAeducator.net to advertise hiring at a cost of $1,300 per year, and will be prorated at $870 for the 24-25 school year. We're looking at better ways to advertise for hiring. Maybe that's what we need to do, get outside of just social media or our website and ensure that we are hiring, or we're putting these advertisements on PA Educator. The district has a LinkedIn that we're utilizing that to put these positions out so that they're getting beyond, some momentum beyond just our county and our area.
And I think working, with the local university, and we have new administration and leadership there, as far as the teacher positions are concerned, is a good idea.
Yeah, some of our sons are coming straight from the university, so we've been conversing with them heavily.
Oh, okay. Policy committee, A, discuss approving the first reading of policy number 237, electronic devices. B, discuss approving the first reading of policy number 257, theft, trespass, and damage to property. C, discuss updating and approving first reading of policy number 626, travel reimbursement
they gave the specific language that needed added. So these policies both exist, the language was dated, and it needed updated, to fall under these guidelines. So you'll notice in your packets, that was, showing what language was added in comparison. So the second reading for these 4 policies would be in January. Then in addition, the electronic devices, what we would want to do prior to January is start pushing some information out, because at that January 2nd reading, then we would want to hit the ground running with our electronic devices, policies and procedures. So we would like to get some of those procedures out, building principals communicating with the community, parents, so that we're not, blindsided.
I think Laura Hollis has the best electronic device, policy. Maybe look into that.
We have theirs, and Albert Gallatin's, and the principals went through both to see what would work. They also, in addition, went to Menneson to see, firsthand exactly what it looks like as the students are coming in to the building and how Menneson worked it out. So they've done their due diligence of making sure it's tailored to Brownsville.
It was rough the first 3 days they did it, but they love it now.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and as administrators,
Yeah.
it's working well.
This would still, so once we implemented the policy, then it would still be, updated change in the student handbooks of the buildings, right?
Right.
It would be, that's the implementation along with the rules and.
And then in addition, for January, the honor pouches will be on the January agenda as well, because that's part of the
Yeah.
policy and procedures.
Yep.
So that would be budgeted for.
Good.
Item D, first of all, I'm glad that we are updating these policies, because for years, since a lot of this stuff has been updated, things have changed since the whole policies were in place. And it was always, somebody was given, the chairman of policy committee, really, and I'm glad to see this kind of coming forward, things getting updated, because we need that. And it helps when we get thrown into litigation, right? That we have the black and white policies, this is the problem, this is the way it goes. And I'm seeing the very last one in here, conflict of interest. I pulled it out, I didn't get a chance to really read the policies, the changes, or whatever. I want to look at this, and I'm interested in some things dealing with that one, that could affect us currently, but Jeremy isn't here, and I don't think this over Thursday, I might want to talk to Jeremy, because I can.
And these are the first readings, so we're.
Right, so we
Yeah.
have to do it.
Hey, just one, thing on policy, something that's kind of starting to raise its head in the world out there is artificial intelligence and the use of AI, and I seriously think, well, I'm sorry to put that on you, but that's a policy that we might want to start looking at.
I think we discussed this before, and I totally agree with you. I think, we need to have that serious discussion and conversation about that. I know, higher ed is starting to look at that and use AI. I think we need to use it, right, and use it correctly and start to teach to that instead of avoiding it.
So basically,
Yeah, so there's also something that we implemented in our office as well as the daily use of AI for your job performance. Right? So one of the things that kind of came up, and my boss lost his mind on us, is that we had employees that were doing correspondence back to other people using AI. So that if we are personally no longer allowed all correspondence, like somebody writes a letter, you literally was told to throw it into chat GPT and it would send a response back. That's not the business we want to be. So anytime we review, there is 100%, and you can find it. Like you take a letter right now, you throw it into, there's a couple of studs out there, you throw it in there, it'll spit right out. 99% generated by AI. So that's, I agree with you. I think that a lot of, especially some of our upper level classes with research and things that they're doing, AI is going to be a big deal with it. But also the internal employee use of AI. G1, discussing resurfacing the gym floor. So basically, I think what we're trying to do here is that floor is the original floor from 2005, right there, 2006, around that time frame. It needs work. Generally, every year, we put about 15 to 20 grand into it, or that's what it needs right now, just to get it up to code, get it sustainable. What we want to do is to get it in place, a contract to fix it, 100%, rip up the boards, do all that, and the rest, and probably the cost about 60 grand is what we kind of think. The design of the floor, in your packet there, you got 3 different options of that, of what you think, and that doesn't mean that those are the only 3 options that are out there. If there's something else that you guys kind of like, or somebody's interested in, and I don't think we really need an answer tonight on that, we can kind of discuss that or think about it over the next couple of days, how you want it to look. We're wide open on that part of it. But my point, what I was recommending is that we go ahead and approve it, or I request to approve it, get it going so that we can get this bad boy scheduled and have it executed next summer when there's like a 3-week period in the summertime where that gym's kind of free. So that's kind of what we want to do there. Item B, and we'll come back to A because you might have some questions for me, but item B, that one is separate because I don't want to tie the 2 together, where we go out and solicit sponsors for the gym. And we put a logo on that gym, and what we want to charge is 20 grand per logo. But that's got to be a coordinated effort. We put a sales packet together for that. We have some targeted, and we would love to hear from the board of people that you want to target. Obviously, you know, who would we want to go to first, second, third, fourth, fifth for sponsorship for these things to do that. So that 20 grand each, if we could get 2, that'd be 40 grand. At the end of the day, the potential's there for the only cost of the district 20 grand-ish, and we don't know, there might be a little bit more depending on the logos and all the rest. Jerry, go ahead, you got jump in on that.
He was.
Oh, yeah, we did get a $15,000, I'm sorry about that, we did get a $15,000 grant from Big Sporting Goods that does not come with a sponsorship logo requirement on the court, so there's 15 grand, there's some other things that we will need to purchase for that, like some tarps and things like that for dances so that we don't screw the whole thing up, but.
Mr. Gann, I
Yeah.
would ask for a motion for an RFP out.
Request for a proposal?
Yeah.
So technically, we can absolutely do that, Mr. Rashid. This company that we did this with, they are on the CoStar, which basically means that they've been vetted and approved, and you can go directly to them. You're not required to do it. The other thing with these guys is that they were the original installers of the floor. So like, they're the guys that put this thing in region. So that's kind of why I didn't really want to do the RFP process, why I would much rather go with the CoStar process, because they have been vetted. Yep, yes, sir. The 2 options are there. I will tell you from my perspective, option 1 is kind of my leading favorite. That's why it's option 1. B in the middle, Falcons on both sides. There has been some discussion about the 2 Falcons there as well, that maybe we have Falcons with maybe a volleyball on it and then another Falcon that's got like a basketball on it for the 2 basketball teams. Anyway, I'm a big fan of the paint being painted. Like it is an option 1, that doesn't mean we couldn't do that in options 2 and 3, but I like that as well. I like the B, just the plain B. But this is me, I'm one of 9, so whatever you guys like. There's the 3 options. I don't think we need an answer tonight on which option we're going to go with, but it's something for you guys to think about. If you've got something else you want to propose, Thursday we can discuss that. Any questions on the gym floor? Good. Yeah, that's right.
And the portable dance floor too, Jared?
Yeah, portable dance floor. Item C, discuss the elementary library reading note paid by Ready to Learn grant. I'll be honest, wasn't aware of that. That one came in while I was in Germany, so I wasn't.
That
So I don't know, personally, I don't have any issues with that, but I also still, if on Thursday, can we get an update of, we talked about the reading library upgrade, as we talked earlier. I know Dr. Salvucci, that's why I said that. Miss Salvucci. Yeah, if I get an update on where we are with that as well, I would appreciate it. And we discuss safety and security at the elementary and middle schools. I'm not sure what that one is.
Now, that's what I have on the agenda.
Okay.
Mr. Gannon.
Thank you, sir.
I asked for concern, I'm going to make a draw out, because I asked you, of course, to bring out maybe call the transportation meeting and come up with some scenarios, according to what calls. Very simple what we can do, it's worth a try. We're going to have trouble, but it all starts with our administration and security. We cannot let parents know until they come up on this. I see it every day. As I said, every month. Sorry, I'm in that business. When I see it, it's hard for me to watch. But our kids are at safe, their safety is in the air. I have administrators or security officers practically getting run over just a little simple. So I'll bring it up another time.
Mr. Gannon, just one more thing. Mr. Yapper wanted to talk about HVAC.
Yeah, I got it, yes, Jerry showed me that when I came in, thanks, Jerry. So, you guys know we did a lot of valve replacement, we improved all that kind of stuff. There's a little, there might be some more issues. Jerry just took me back and showed me all the pipes. Literally nothing but crud and dirt and all kinds of junk inside of it. The contractor's gonna work with us to try to do this as efficiently as possible. The good news is that from all the work that's been done, we don't have to shut the entire system down and fix some of this stuff. We can do some isolation of it and get after it and get it fixed. But if you wanna see how nasty our stuff was, and people that have worked here for years, God bless you, Jerry's got it back there in the room there. It's crazy, like the pipes, you can't even see through. So, we might, so what we're trying to get trying to understand what this is. If it gets it before Wednesday by 3 o'clock, we make the agenda, 3 o'clock's good, right? Ish. If we can get a quote to put on the agenda, that's what we'll do, but if not, then we'll just have to wait, unfortunately.
This don't pertain to any of the classrooms, this doesn't pertain to the board of the foyers.
Yeah.
It's some of the bank rooms up in the hallways. They've been plugged for years, they've never worked, and we put new valves in anticipation of getting this grant to do for us. So now, all these are plugged solid, and if we went to open these up, it would go to all of us.
So, you just brought up a great point though, that, so we got, and that was the other reason why so we got an HR director now. The HR director should, in my opinion, probably be the guy that's transitioning over and handling those clearances thing. Yeah. And that's just my point. Yeah. Because even then, like, I wouldn't mind seeing that, you know, an affidavit or a statement from Mr. Wellington, whenever these come in here, that I know we can't see the clearances and all that, but a statement from him saying, on X such date, I saw and approved they are clear, like in writing. Same thing with security clearances.
I still,
Yep. Right, but before, I'm with you, Mr. Bashir, I'm not voting until I see that from him.
but I'm still opposed, I mean, not been very clear that we can't see the clearance. I don't wanna see the name,
Yeah.
I just wanna see all clear.
Yeah. That's what they say.
Cut the name, black out, I don't need to see the person's name, but we just, why did that, is that a law now? Is that a law that we can't see the clearances? I never got that.
It is. But he can say, if Mr. Wellington saw the clearance, he can write an affidavit saying, on this day, I saw the approved clearances for these individuals. That's all we need, and that's what, that'll meet your intent.
Yes, I have to do that.
But I want it in writing, no